Right guys, a few people were asking about gasket kits and that for the Valley Clean, so I thought I'd show a few people the Valley Clean I've done on my 200. It's done about 350,000 Ks. It's never had the top off before. This is the first time, so it was pretty choked up, but not too bad. Not as bad as I've seen, but it was still pretty choked up. It's a country car, so it does more miles and stops and starts. So I'll show you some steps. I did a bit of extra work on mine. I replaced the water pump and the drive belt, and also putting a new radiator in as well. This gasket here, that's the one you have to buy yourself randomly extra, because when you buy a new water pump and a new thermostat, the thermostat comes with its own rubber ring, but it doesn't come with the opposite side. And these being a metal compressed gasket, you're probably better off not using them a second time. You know, they're a one use only type thing. You can see the new gasket behind there. I've seen a few people post a few different types of ways of doing Valley Cleans. I've actually removed these base ones as well, these extension pieces, the first part of the valley, and I've gone right down to the head. So everything was removed right down to the head, and then cleaned inside each chamber, and then cleaned each separate alley housing from there on in, and started putting it together. So this is only the very first stage of putting it together. If you have not done mechanical work on cars before, this is not a water pump on an EH Holden. You need to know your shit or leave it alone. That's my advice to you. It's not for the faint-hearted. This is not hard, but it is far from simple. There's a lot of pipework to come off. There's a lot of injector lines, water lines and diesel lines, return lines, etc. Oil injection lines. There's all sorts of things that have to come off to get to every section of it. Righto, here's a few of the other bits you need. This is the top of the valley section. So you need the top of the valley section gaskets. That's the top. That's the bit that everyone gets done, is just that section and that section there, and they don't remove that and get it all out of there, and they get choked up chronically. So that's why I wouldn't do just a top only. That's the gasket there for that. That's your EGR. Mine's a 2007, so a later model might be a slightly smaller, different variant to that. Those there are the gaskets for each side of that. That is classically where you do your, sorry, it actually goes like that. That's classically where people do DGR deletes when they do them. They often put a plate on there or on there, and they do the DGR delete. Some people do the electronic EGR delete, where these solenoids do not open anymore, so therefore no soot comes through there. You need these two gaskets down here. That's those ones there. So you need both of those gaskets. They're your throttle bodies, your left and right throttle bodies. You need those two gaskets for the two throttle bodies. This is your intercooler that you remove. That's one gasket. That's the other side of the intercooler. That's a different gasket. They are two different shaped gaskets, so make sure you don't just get a pair. That's really all the gaskets you need. You can see all sorts of crap that you pull off here, injector lines, fuel rails, boxer bolts. That's the big one that everyone talks about. I'm not going to talk about that because I have my own belief, and thousands of other people have beliefs about it. This is your MAF filter, and that's the one I'm replacing it with that Stuart supplied me. It's a stainless steel one. There doesn't appear to be a problem with my one. Doesn't appear to be. I didn't have any performance issues, but I'm there, so why not? All bits and pieces, and that's about it. Lots of cleaning. So now it's time to put it all back together. It'll go together, no dramas. It'll be actually Actually, I'll show you this. This is another thing. As you go, there's all these little rubber pieces, all to do with noise suppression and vibration. They've all got to go back in again. All right, that's the right hand one. There's a left hand one. Careful when you pull them out, they do break easy. So the rest is just fun. But as I said, if you're not really good at mechanics, leave the fucking thing alone. It's there's a lot in it and a lot to it. And if you make a mistake, it could be a rather costly mistake, because they're 20k to replace all this if you do something wrong. So if you're not good at it, leave it alone, pay for someone else to go and do it. That's my recommendation. Enjoy, guys.